Howdy all and welcome back. I'm going to launch straight into it today, showing off two games in one of my newest vehicles, the STI. This machine is the tier 9 of the second Soviet heavy tank line that culminates in the IS-4, and it is a beast. As I slowly make my way into battle here on Rockfield, I'm going to bring up game model 3D's armor model of the STI and show you what it's all about. The STI is a hull down or side scraping vehicle. Like the KV-4 that precedes it, it has strong side armor, only 10mm thinner than the KV-4, meaning it does side scrape well. The front upper plate is 140mm thick, sloped back at 60 degrees for an effective thickness of around 300mm. That's strong. But the lower plate, even though it is 20mm thicker, 160mm thick, it is much flatter to the vertical, resulting in an effective thickness that is less than 200mm. It's a big weak spot and it's a big target. You need to hide this. Not so with the turret though. This is where you'll find the bulk of the armor on the STI. 250mm thick at the very front of the turret, 220 down the cheeks on the sides, massive gun mantlet, spaced armor there of up to 300mm. 100mm on the turret top front, sloped back at 80 degrees, means it's almost an auto bounce. And even the commander's cupola is 200mm thick. Unless it gets hit front on, it's likely to bounce too. Now you would think, after extolling the virtues of the STI's armor for so long at the start of the video, I would then go on to show a clip where I just bounce everything. But that is not the case in this game. I do take a lot of return damage, and it'll just highlight how easy it is to take damage, even in a monster tank like this, if you are not careful with your positioning, or you make bad tactical errors, as I do in this game, or it's just the guns firing back at you. So I've got the Reds backed into a corner here on Rockfield already. They are all behind the bunker, and we've got medium tanks behind me backing me up. Our heavies are all in the valley, and this E75 here can probably tell that his team is going to go down unless they break out of this corner. So he's charging towards me, and I would be in a lot of trouble if the KV-4 and perhaps another tank, maybe the IS-8 or the VK-45, had to come with him. They likely would have been able to break out of here and take us down and then deal with the heavies later, but he's coming by himself. Unfortunately for him, he gets one through my front plate before, it's far too angled, another one through my front plate as I was backing away and dipping over the ridge here. But I get lucky on his third shot, goes into my drive wheel. All my shots going through his lower plate. We're very evenly matched when it comes to firepower, and we both know where to aim. Charges me down, looking for a last shot, but I swapped to HE. He was on about 45 health there, and even though it was risky, it allowed me to get a shot off before he came all the way over, reducing his chance of getting damage on me. With that threat out of the road, we can advance. This VK, who was looking over the ridge into the valley, is now copping a lot of flanking fire. My driver is still knocked out from that earlier engagement with the E75, and my multi-repair kit is just about timed back in. I am going to use it here at the wrong time. The Black Prince comes around, I repair just as he pokes his head around the corner, and his shot goes through my lower plate as well. I did not expect him to be able to penetrate me. So I'm forced to use the normal repair kit afterwards to repair that ammo rack damage as well. Very annoying. VK still putting up a fight. He is not far off being dead. Can advance forward. A wasted shot there as the T-44 gets the kill just before me. KV-4 is looking my way. I set up to side scrape, but the IS-8 appears. He's coming up the hill. I don't know what it is with pike-nosed vehicles, but I have a lot of trouble getting through the lower plate of the pike nose. It should be weaker, but let's see, I bounced the IS-8 there. He takes out the T-54. I track him in position, lets the T-43 get around behind him. And here I make a mistake, it cost me damage. Instead of setting up to side scrape, I poke out before I was reloaded, and that allows him to easily get a shot through my lower plate. Poor tactical play there. costing me unnecessary damage. T-43 gets the kill. KV-4 is looking the wrong way. He goes down, and now it's just an IS-6 left. If I hadn't taken that last shot from the IS-8, I probably could have busted in there a lot more aggressively and tried to get 2 shots off. But as it is, I don't want to risk dying now, so I'm just going to get myself set up to get a safe shot. One into him. He's not going to last my reload, and down he goes. Into the post-game stats, a Confederate award and the first class badge, 5.5k damage for myself, but a good spread of damage across the team there, everyone doing a little bit. 17 shots fired, 15 penetrations, 6 hits received, 37,000 credits, and 4,000 XP. The second and final match for this episode is here on Dead Rail. I'm going to run this one a little bit differently because it's got one hell of a finish. So I'll commentate up to a point, and then I'll just let the gameplay ride, and then I'll come back and do a blow-by-blow account of how things went down the way they did. I'm here with Furion in his Centurion 7/1. It's a tier 9 match. Lots of TDs on the red side. A good spread of all classes of vehicles on our side. Medium's moving up to the ridge line. It's good news. I'm coming into this side scraping position, but there's a Carnarvon out in the open looking to flank. He takes a shot, removes the cover. I get one back, but whacked by something massive. It was the Object 704. How he managed to thread the needle and get that shot into the side of my turret, I have no idea. Not a good start of the game. Very, very frustrating. And you can tell I'm frustrated because I'm just going to fixate on this KV-4 for a good 30-40 seconds now. He's side scraping the building there. He knows what's up. He's not going to poke out. I'm still fixating. My time would be better spent looking for other opportunities, but just determined to sit here for some reason. He's side scraping. He knows he doesn't want to poke his front of the turret out. I swapped the heat rounds in frustration. Still not a guaranteed pen with the massive side armor on that thing. I fire anyway. Doesn't go through. Pointless. Pointless way to spend 40 seconds. So we're being flanked. The Carnarvon is engaging our T-34 premium tank to the left of me and rear. I get another one through his side. He's pushing up. Furion is all tied up there with those tank destroyers. Tiger comes charging past. I get one into him. Losing tanks. It's 3-1. I want to help this T-34, but I don't want to be pinned in 3 different sides. T-95 comes all the way up the hill to get the T-34 through the train tracks. Did not expect that. And now it's 1-4. I'm going to let this game now play out, and then I'll come back. Enjoy. So I think you'll agree that that was an intense couple of minutes worth of gameplay. I was sweating by the end of that. Let's rewind and do a bit of analysis on how it went down and how I managed to survive. We pull back to the moment where I decided to commit to Furion's side of the map. T-44 was rushing in and I had two options. I could go with my platoon mate and the T-44, try and make the most of the havoc they were causing down there, or I could have turned back to the Carnarvon and the Tiger and tried to dispatch them before moving on to the rest of the enemies. By that stage, if I had have chased them down, because the STI is not a slow vehicle, there's no guarantee that I could catch both of them before that battle in the valley was finished. But even if I had have and turned back, it was likely that Furion and the T-44 would be dead, and I'd still have an object, a KV-4, and that T-28 prototype to deal with. So let's run it and do a blow by blow. The KV-4 takes one in the front as he pokes out. He then drives forward in the same direction as me. He's going to fixate on that battle, which allows me to get one more into him. The T-44 is doing a great job down there, flanking around that T-95. Gets engine fire, doing some great work. Hopefully the object is reloading as I come out in the open. And then Furion, rushing in, does the worst possible thing you can do to a KV-4. Rams him. Furion there was on about 1100 hit points before that ram. Lost 450 for the KV-4's 118. Not a great thing to do. If you are thinking about ramming a KV-4, you would want to be in an E100, a Jagdpanzer E100, or a Morse, because they're the only tanks in the game that weigh more than that monster. Two hits in quick succession from the object and the T-28 prototype take out Furion. The T-44 claims the T-95. Excellent work by him to remove that very dangerous gun from the game. Prototype stays up on the ridgeline far too long there to get a shot off at the T-44. That allows me to get one through his front. And now it's just myself versus four. I've got the most dangerous gun to my left with the object, but Furion has died in the best possible location. Up on the high ground to the left of me, I'm kind of in a depression here, which is handy. The next most dangerous gun is the prototype. He sits at the lip of that ridge there for too long, looking for a shot at my turret, which was never going to go through. And I'm able to put one through the cheek of his turret. If you're ever firing at a T-28 prototype, the cheeks of that turret are weak. So that is the second most dangerous gun out of the game. If he had played more cautiously and say pulled back and allowed me to get distracted by the two tanks firing at my right, the Carnarvon and the Tiger, popping back over only when it was safe to do so, this game would have been a loss for sure. But with him out of the game, I've now only got enemies on two sides, and I can play my positioning to best protect the most dangerous side, which of course is the object. So let's play for it again. Still taking hits. Tiger is putting the most effective fire in. The Carnarvon is doing a lot of bouncing. Probably has a stock gun. Now I'm just jiggling about. I know the object's behind me, but I'm not exactly sure where he is. So I'm just butting myself up against Furion's dead Centurion, jiggling about, which will hopefully throw off the object's aim, frustrate him, make him move from where he is. The front of my vehicle, the hull and the turret pointing these two guys, there's very little chance of them coming over the ridge to put another shot into me. Now here was important play. I held fire on the Carnarvon, not panic shooting. The Tiger probably thinks I fired a shot off now and he's safe to come out, and that is a mistake. I put one round through the front of his vehicle, easy kill. And now I'm down to two enemies against me. Object, frustrated by the fact that he couldn't get me from his camping position, is out in the open. He is moving to my right. At the same time, the Carnarvon, can see him distracted. He's coming out as well. I take a big risk here. Turn the vehicle around to try and scare off the Carnarvon for a little bit longer. If the object had been faster to turn there, he probably could have got a shot into my rear and that would have been the game done. But he's stalled. He's coming around. Sneak out of his line of fire just in time. And now he's the one at a disadvantage in this fight. Without a turret, he's going to find it very difficult to maneuver around that dead KV-4. Whereas I can be in a much better position to put cheeky shots in before pulling back into cover. One in as he tries to flank around the side. the Carnarvon, still putting ineffective fire into my rear. Side scrape there. I was side scraping 101. Only giving him the thick side armor of the STI. He's down to 32 hit points. I can confirm this with a HE around without exposing myself too much. Down he goes. And now there is just this poor Carnarvon left who is still pumping rounds. High explosive and heat rounds. None of them are working very well. I swapped back to AP there, but in my excitement, I didn't even realize that I left it on HE. Actually, at this point, I was making sure I'd press the record button on my video recorder. So I'm pumping HE into this guy, not even realizing it still at this point. And down he goes. Phew. A heap of medals for that one. First class, Top Gun, Radley, Steel Wall, Crucial Contribution, and a Kolobanov's. 4.6k damage for myself, 1.8 for Furion, and 2 for the T-44 Typos, well played. 15 penetrations from 17 shots fired, also took 14 hits, 6 not doing any damage or tracking me, 19k credits, and 4k experience.